Dad.org. Dad.org is a platform for buying and selling anything, anywhere, anytime. So, making money the really easy way. In fact, it's easier than falling asleep.
It's swift, secure, and easy. Dad.org, transforming life.
Welcome to DTM TV Enyanya, and I am your host Elijah Meru, reporting to you live from the city of Calling, and this is Real Truth. A few days ago I made a video in Swahili, and many of my followers asked so that I should do it in English as well. And this that's a simple message from the book of Psalms chapter 90 verse 12, and it's a prayer that King David prayed, and that prayer is very simple, and I beseech all of us that we may pray this prayer, that we may think about this every single time, because there are some people who live like as if they will be here forever, and they don't have an idea that tomorrow will come, and that tomorrow perhaps they might not be here. And so he says, teach us how to number our days so that we may be wise. In other words, if we don't know how to count, how to number our days, if we are not aware that we are here for a very short time and plan accordingly, then we are stupid. And then you can choose to be stupid, just live like wake up again and sleep again and wake up again and sleep again. Or you can choose to be wise and plan for your life. Plan for the lives of people who depend on you, including your children, including your spouse, and even your employees, if you are an employer. And he says, teach us how to number our days so that we may be wise. And I know every one of us want to be wise. And I chose to divide this stage, or this teaching, or this reflection, this meditation, I would say, into 5 stages, that each and every one of us have these 5 stages. And once you understand these 5 stages, then you will be able to plan for your life, and you will be able to know what to do with your life at every stage. And if there is a stage that you didn't really live as you should, that's how the Apostle Paul comes in also in Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 16. He says, redeeming our time, because the days are evil. That you might have lost some time, you must have wasted some time, but you still have an opportunity of redeeming it once you know that you've lost it and there is something that can be done about it. And so I divide this into 5 stages of life. And these 5 stages, every one of us passes through them. The first stage is is what I call foundation, and it is between 0 to 12 years. The second stage is what I call identity, seeking our own identity, and I call it it's from 12 years to 20 years. The third stage is investment, or 20 to 40 years, and the third stage is evaluation, which is 40 to 65 years, and the last stages, which is celebration or mourning or regret, which is counting even the months when you are in the belly of your mom. So 12 years, I call it foundation. Foundation, because when you are building a house, how big the house will become, how strong the house will become, depends on the foundation that you've made for that house. And these 12 years are very crucial and important in everyone's life. And once we understand this, for those of us who are parents, then we will be able to put more emphasis on the way we handle our children. And for those of us who perhaps in some way or the other we missed something in this stage, we could be then able to reflect back and say, this is where lies my problem. Because if your foundation was wrong, if the foundation here something was bad, it will show up even when you become old, even when you have a relationship, even when you become married, even when you go to work. That which you didn't, that bad foundation that you got between 0 to 12 years will recur again. Or that good foundation that you got this time can be seen when you hang out with other people, in your marriage, in your place of work, in school and other places. And so it's very, very crucial and important to understand this. If you are a parent, then you can do something about your children. If you are a person who you can see like you have some problems, then you can understand the problem comes from there and see, even if it won't be perhaps easy to fix everything, but see how you can work on those so that you can be a better person. As I was saying, is that this first stage is very crucial. It's very crucial. It's the stage of 0 to 12 years, and I've divided it from 0 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 12. And 0 to 2 is what I call time for the children to learn how to trust people or mistrust. So depending on how the mother or the father does, whatever they do, that will create trust or mistrust in the life of that child. The second step, 2 to 4 years, self-reliance, that the child want to start doing some stuff themselves. They want to start feeding themselves. And I've seen most of us parents, sometimes we want to help our kids because we think we love them so much. We don't want them to be self-reliant, but it's very important to let them be. And this period, the father and the mother are very important in the lives of that child. And from 4 to 5, the child wants to take its own initiative. They want to some extent to start doing things on their own. And from 5 to 12, they are hardworking, they're industrious. If it's a young girl, you want to see her, you see her every time wanting to be a mother, pretending to be a mother, cooking, taking care of the kids, doing this and that. And I don't know who teaches them that, but that's how it is. And if it's a boy, you see him driving cars, building houses and stuff. And of course, some other people would argue like men can do what men can do, women can do. But nature shows us that there are some preferences that the children themselves choose. And so the second stage is seeking our own identity. And that's when a child becomes between the age of 12 to 20. Some other people would call it teenage age, you know. And this time the children, because from 0 to 12 years, as I said, the first stage, the stage of foundation, there are some other people putting that foundation, defining who you will become, you know. You don't have so much to say about yourself. Whatever they do for you will determine the kind of a person you will become. And in most cases, when then you become 12 years, teenagers, they say, you see these children, they want to lock themselves in their rooms. And when they are in their room, they don't want anybody to open. They are kind of rebellious, some other people would say. But these children, they want to find themselves. They want to know to have their own identity. They want to know who they really are. They have so many questions in their heads. And that's where they need some kind of guidance. They need some role model. They need people who can teach them. And that is again when it's important that in most cases the two parents are there. But with the selfish world we are having today, we see that we don't care about this. Especially those of us who are coming from Africa and coming to the West here, where women did not get a chance of touching money. When they are reaching here, things are becoming complicated and the culture is complicated. It's not only about money, but also the culture. Things which were seen like taboo where they came from, they are just normal here. And so because of that confusion, sometimes you find that the people become confused, you understand? God values the family, and the family is a very important institution for the children, for the society, and so on and so forth. And so this, when the children are seeking their own identity, it will depend now how we treat them, because the child is asking themselves some questions. Who am I? They want to find for themselves who they really are. They want to explore the world. They want to find their own path, you know. They want to be given the wings to fly on themselves, by themselves. And you know, sometimes we want every time, some with good intentions, because we are very careful. We don't want our kids to go and hang around with other kids. We don't want them to go around and explore the world. We want always to have them close to ourselves. But we harm them, you know, because by giving them an opportunity to fly, by letting them, you know, even birds, you know, when they are small, babies are still small, they take them to they fly with them on their own wings. But when the kids start growing, then they give them a chance of flying on their own. And I think this is important, to give our children a chance to fly on their own, to give them a chance to know the world, to give them a chance to see what is happening. Of course, it's still important for you as a parent, if their children is going to school, to know who their friends are, to know the peers who are, because those people outside there, the children, the other children of their age, the comrades, wherever they go to play football and so on, these people, or the peer, with the peer pressure, they have some kind of influence on these young ones. So the most important thing is just to know who are the people who are influencing them, what is the school they are going into, and what is the message they are being given into the school where they are going, because all these factors will shape their lives, who they become tomorrow. And so by this time, it's very important. Some parents will say, this is the children of these days, you know, during our days, it was this, it was that. But what we forget to know is that our days, our generation is not their generation. And their generation will not be the generation of their children. And the reality of our generation is not the same reality that theirs. And so we don't understand their reality the same way they have difficulty of understanding our own reality. So I have a friend in Africa who was saying that when he was young, he made old people his friends. Now that he's old, he's becoming friends with young people. And he was saying when he was young, he didn't see what you could learn from other young, because they had almost the same mindset. And now that he's old, he knows that there are some new things like technology and stuff which are coming, which he doesn't understand, because most of these things have come when he's already old. So it takes these young people to be his friends so that he can learn. So there are some people who want to learn like this, and some other people, they want just people of their age or their who look like them and something like that. But people should be given that chance of seeking to know who they are and having their own identity. And number 3 then becomes the time of investment, and that's it, from the age of 20 to 40. This is the time when you invest in your education, when you are going to university, when you're deciding what kind of course are you taking at the university, when you are deciding that what kind of job you want to do in your life, what kind of path you want your life to take. This is the time you invest in yourself, read books, see movies, travel around the world. Whatever you do at this time, you are doing an investment. It can be a good investment, it can be also a bad investment. And as I said again, that will also depend again with the foundation that you've been given. If you were not given any opportunity from the age of 0 to 20, and that you are locked somewhere and you know that that is the whole world to you, then you want to be able to fly with your own wings. You want to be able to invest adequately as you should. So this is the time that most people will want to have partners, girlfriends, boyfriends, fiancés. That's the time you want to start working. That's the time you invest in different things. And some people are just also not aware of what is happening. They're not counting their days, as the king said here, that teach us how to number our days. They just go and meet with these other people of their age and just hang around and drink and party and do some other things without understanding that every day that passes will not come back. And so this is a very crucial time for every one of us to invest in yourself, to invest in your business, to invest in your relationship, whether it's family relationship, whether it's business relationship, whether it's whatever you're doing. So you need to invest in this, because this will help you in the next stage. And some people then at this time, they squander this time. And some of us, like we are in the places where there's so many opportunities. These opportunities, I can't understand that in Denmark, where there are so many opportunities in this country, but there's still children who don't go to school. There's still homeless people who, they call them hjemløse here, people who don't have where to live, and yet they're getting some money somewhere. People who don't go to school, and yet the education is free. People who don't want to work, and yet there is ample opportunities in this country. Why? Because people are not aware, or people just think that they will be here forever. Understand? Or some other people are just blinded by the social help that the people get from the state and stuff like that, so they don't see any importance of working for themselves, which is a very terrible idea. And so it's very important to know this when you are in this age. And somebody said that this is the time you need to invest. You can buy land at that time, you need to buy shares, you need to invest in a given company, even if you are not an entrepreneur, but you can still invest your money in that company if you see that it's a very good company in which you can put your money to get some return later. You can avoid stupid debts, because there are some people with opportunities, everything they have is debt. They have a house. There are good debts and bad debts. If you do take a debt to do business and make more money, that's a good one. But if you take a debt, for example, of an expensive car, a debt of a house to live in, debt of a telephone, of a mobile, and you see, here you can get a debt of anything. You can buy a TV on debt, you can buy a radio on debt, a computer on debt, a telephone on debt. You just need to have 1 krona or an address, and the banks and shops, they will give you everything. Then you will live the rest of your life just paying debts. You can avoid all this and invest. You spend only the money you have earned before, and not spending the money you have not earned. If you understand what I mean, get first the money, then spend it, then starting to spend the money you haven't even earned in the first place. My teacher of finance at the university told me something which I really cherish very dearly. He said, every time you get paid, even if it doesn't matter how small your payment or your salary is, pay yourself first. And he was saying, when you are young, when you are in this age of 20 to 40 years, you'll get some opportunities. Save something. If you get $100, get 20, 30, 40 or something, whatever the bracket is, put it somewhere for your retirement, because you never know. And somebody said, if this period is the period, then we need to work as a slave so that you can live as a king when you become old. And if you want to live as a king in this period, live and spend what you haven't worked for in the first place, you will live to regret and live as a slave in your old age. And some other people even commit suicide or die before their age because they made some stupid decisions during this time. And so after this stage of investment, of intimacy and isolation, you see some other people in this time, then if they're in a relationship, they have a boyfriend, they have a husband, they have a wife, they have sometimes you see people with behavior, even as a colleague at work, you see them having some kind of funny or weird behavior, is because they got a very bad foundation either in stage 1 or stage 2, you know. And even in this stage 3 again, it also showed up in stage 4, because then stage 4 is evaluation and the readjustment. When you do the readjustment, and now you are 40 something, you look back, you were born the other day, you think you are still young, but when you look, what have I achieved? You have done nothing. You have no share anywhere, you have no land, you have not invested in yourself, there's no company which is associated with you. When you look, you have that list of debts that you haven't paid, and look, some people then at this time, they become frustrated, you know, they become drunkard, some other people even commit suicide because they don't see the reason why they should live. And some other people, they take that opportunity to readjust their lives. And that's why I call this period evaluation and readjustment, seeing what you should have, what you could have done better, and how could you adjust it, how could you readjust it, the opportunity that you lost. And myself here, I come here like in Denmark when I was not very young, you know, but I saw that I had some opportunity of doing what I could have done before here, and I said, why don't I take advantage of this, you know? And I had to go to school and started again from the first year of university, AP degree, bachelor, and I completed my master's, you know, here, because when you get that opportunity, you can redeem your time, you understand? And so this is very important for some people to readjust. And you can readjust it because you can still have 25 years, and 25 years is a very long time. You can do so many things, the things that you are not able to do, that investment that you didn't do that time, you can invest. And some other people say that many people are corrupt here, because then you realize that there are so many things you should have done which you didn't do. Then they started having some weird lives. They start to want to to redeem that time in a very dishonest way. But you don't have to be dishonest. You can still do things in the correct way and redeem some time at this period, so that by the time you reach 65, then you won't regret, but you'll celebrate your life. Because 65 and above, then it's time. Then in most countries, that's the time of retirement. And some people, they take that opportunity then to go around the world. If they didn't get that time because they were busy working as slaves, now they can live like kings, and they can go around and spend their lives on beaches and visit so many countries because they invest in themselves. But if you did, then you can curse everybody. You curse even your own children, because you think your children should be helping you, while you should have invested in the children, but you didn't invest in them, and yet you want them to give back to you. Understand? But even when you invest in the children, you do that, you do so that they can stand on their own, not to take care of you, but so that they can stand on their own. But at the same time, that's why I was saying in part 3 that you need to invest in self. You need to pay yourself, so that you have put something aside. You have built that house, even if it's a small house, a rental house, that could take care of you when you are old, and not start blaming your children because they didn't do what you expected them to do. So these are 5 stages, as you can see. And the first stage, as I said, is a foundation which you get from your parents and the other people, the teachers in school, and so on. The second stage is the stage of identity, you seeking your own identity and wanting for sure to be your self, and you want that privacy, you want that intimacy, you want to be your own person, and your parents need to help you, the people around you need to help you. If they do so, then they'll be helpful. The third thing then is that it's time for your investment, which is 20 to 40 years, and this is a very crucial and important period for your life, because during this time then you are able to invest in so many different stuff, to invest in yourself, and that way then you are able to live a better life when you go to retirement. The fourth period that I talked about was the period that I called evaluation and readjustment, then you reevaluate and look and see if what you planned, or if you lived your life as you wanted it to be, and if you see that there were opportunities that you messed up with, then you can redeem those opportunities. You can readjust your life and see what you can do so that the next 25 years won't be another wasted period, but it will be a time for you to readjust whatever you didn't do well and do it at that time. And the last session that we have here, which is what I call celebration or mourning or regret, celebration or regret, depends now of what you did with these other few stages. Did you get a very good foundation? Did you know your identity and followed it as you should? Did you invest in yourself? Did you do an evaluation and readjust your life as you should? Then if you did everything correctly, then you celebrate and go to beaches and live your life happily. But if you didn't, then you regret your life, and some other people hang themselves. But I pray as the king of Israel, David, prayed and said, teach us how to number our days. I pray that you will also number your days, that you will also understand that your time is not here. It doesn't matter what bracket you are in, you still can do something about your life. God bless you, and see you next time. I'm your friend Elijah Meru. God bless you, and ciao. Bye bye.
Hello, my name is Saqib Hamid, the CMO of Dad.org. Today, I'm going to demonstrate how easy it is to install and use the Dad.org app. We have launched a new website, and with it, we are launching the app as well. So it's very important that you get the gist of this. So, you first of all go onto the Dad.org website, dadorg.com. Sometimes you will get a privacy notice. Just click I accept and you can continue to use the website. Then it's super easy to install the app. All you need to do is roll all the way down to the bottom. And here you can see there is a little green Android symbol next to the word download. You just click on him. And now it's downloading, and now it's opening this APK file. Now it is important before you do this to disable your security settings on your phone, because you may face difficulties. Of course, you can put the settings on back after installing this. This is not harmful. So it's asking me here in Danish if I want to install the application. I just click install. So now we are good to go. It's installing, and now it's installed, so we are going to open. And now I have the privacy setting when opening the app. So I just click I accept, and there, nice and easy. And just to show you on the phone, this is what it looks like. You can see the Dad.org logo just shining there. I can click on that and it launches the app. So there you have it. It's swift, secure, and easy. Dad.org, transforming lives.
Go to Dad.org. Dad.org will distribute all the love you can have.